And we're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of my nutrition mission. I love calling them episodes because I pretend to have my own TV show on Facebook. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So these kind of tend to go towards things that I am living with in my life or experimenting with or learning about in my health coaching course, or even recipes that I'm kind of experimenting with or learning about from other people. And paleo is something that Joel and I are both trialing for this month of June. Because one thing I know about different ways of eating and different diets is that what works for me might not work for you, Mel, and what works for you might not work for me. So the only way that anyone can ever find out what's best for them really is to try it. So about 5 or 6 years ago, Joel and I were very into the paleo lifestyle. We were heavily into CrossFit, and it worked really well for us. We were really energetic. We were mentally quite clear. We felt really good. I got injured though, and then I was pregnant, and I gave into all those croissant cravings, which
As you do.
and it kind of just got pushed to the side. And just recently, we were talking about how great we felt back in those years when we lived like that, and we thought, why don't we do another trial now and just see if it still suits us? Because I guess over the years, your body changes, your lifestyle changes, and what worked back then might not work now.
Yeah.
So we're just doing a trial. So then as we were talking about this, enter my new friend, Mel. Mel and I have kind of a funny story of meeting. We met at an indoor play center, and I was there with my son and my nephew, and we kind of like chatted. She was there with her little girl, Sierra. And then we were like, okay, bye. Like, we'll probably never see that woman again.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later at the farmer's market, I turned around, there was Mel buying the same organic veggies I was. And I was like, oh, hey, I met you at the play center. And then again, I was like, hey, have a great day. Never see her again.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I was at the gym, and I looked up, and there was Mel. And I was like, okay, seriously, I think the universe is telling us that we need to chat. We need to be friends. So we did. And we realized we're in the same kind of industry. Mel has a specialty, though, in primal health coaching, and so knows quite a bit about the whole Paleo Primal lifestyle. So it really was synchronicity. Like, we really, I think, met at the ideal time. So today we're just going to talk about what that means, the Paleo Primal lifestyle. And at the end, we're going to make a couple really quick and easy, delicious recipes that you can hopefully make at home as well. So Mel, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into the whole primal health coaching?
Well, I guess it started roughly about 8 years ago when I first moved to Australia from California.
Mm-hmm.
I always dealt with a bit of gut issues, bad digestion, bloating, just not feeling enough energy, run down that head fog.
So common, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I think people just think, oh, it's
You
just
think
the way
that's
it
just
is.
part of life.
Yeah.
I'm just tired because I've had a busy day.
Yeah.
And this bloated belly, I was sporting this pregnant belly without being pregnant, and that was not fun. So somebody geared me towards going gluten-free, and did that, noticed some significant changes right away with bloating and whatnot, but realized I was just eating heaps of carbs through gluten-free breads, gluten-free pasta. I wasn't doing myself any favors, really. Looking at ingredients, starting to read ingredients, most of which I couldn't even pronounce, and I didn't think they were doing me any good, really. So wanted a more natural approach. Started to follow Mark Sisson, his blog, Mark's Daily Apple, which follows this primal lifestyle, this way of eating, and I really liked it. It followed what I was starting to naturally do, starting to go to the farmer's market, buy fresh produce, eat organic meats when I could, and my boss, luckily at the time, we both follow the same idea. We're encouraging our patients who deal with a lot of chronic inflammation, back pain, gut issues too.
And so in your, I guess, other job, what is that?
So I work at a physio clinic as an exercise physiologist. And so we deal, again, with a lot of back pain patients. Specifically, that's what I do. But finding that we can do everything we want, but if their diet wasn't right, they would still struggle with this pain. And it's amazing the results, switching their diet, getting their digestion on track, really improve the inflammation in their body, improve the arthritis pain, back pain. it's not only just exercise that cures those.
I think we kind of forget like the effect that our diet has on inflammation in our body, and not just like injuries, but like inflammation of the brain as well. And like really, it's the root cause of all chronic disease. So I think getting that under control is a massive step in improving our health.
And going this way of eating really jumpstarts to improving that inflammation in the body. That's what I found. So we started doing these seminars at work, trying to encourage this way of eating, and again, getting really good results. Then I fell pregnant, went on maternity leave, wanted to still encourage this way of eating, which I love to talk about anyways. So
we pretty much just talk about food, don't we?
I know. That's
meet at a cafe, eat food, and talk about food.
That's right. So after seeing Mark Sisson speak in Sydney a few years ago, he mentioned this course. And then once being on maternity leave, I wanted to look into it further and keep my brain working while I was on leave. So
I hear you.
And here I am pretty much.
Cool.
Finished the course and wanting to do this and encourage more people.
Yeah, spread the message, the nutrition mission. Cool.
That's right.
So we'll go back to Mark Sisson in a minute, but can you just kind of walk us through the philosophy behind paleo and like kind of where it's come from, what it means to live paleo?
Well, I suppose to make it really basic, the premise is based on what our ancestors ate 2.5 million years ago.
A long time ago.
So basically they would hunt and gather for their foods what was seasonally available, which was your veggies and your fruit that they can catch, whether it be their wild caught fish or whatever they can hunt for. And so we're kind of taking that idea and bringing it into the modern day life. But now we don't have to hunt and gather. We can just go to our local farmer's market. We can easily access
the farmer's market.
Yeah,
we saw each other.
That's right. We can easily access organic foods, go to our local butcher, get amazing meats and protein and poultry and whatnot. And that's the idea of it. It's really going back to basics, what our moms and grandmas have been telling us to do. Eat your meat and veg. So simple. And just getting rid of all that processed food. Because way back when, 2.5 million years ago, they didn't have the technology or the resources to process grains and legumes and some of those things in the paleo diet that are restricted.
Right.
So
they couldn't eat it.
No.
So nuts and seeds and healthy fats, heaps of veggies, some fruit, lean meat.
That's right.
Seafood.
That's right.
Sounds good to me.
So a lot of that with the paleo way is that form of diet, and it goes into more with the exercise base. Way back when they were always moving, they were hunting for their food. They go against the chronic exercise and chronic cardio, but that's a whole other topic.
Whole other topic. We won't go there. So if someone wants to trial a paleo lifestyle, any of you out there, what kind of things would you tell them? Like, what are some rules that they could stick to? I know people love rules. I love rules. I love guidelines. Like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. So what are some things that we could tell people to do?
So I'd say the basic things you want to follow with a paleo diet is they do get rid of grains. All grains being your rice, your pasta, any baked goods.
Baked goods, I guess, with wheat though, right? Like we can make paleo muffins.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So as the alternative, you use nut flours and whatnot. So getting rid of all wheat flours, that's where most of the gluten comes in, where you'll soon realize everything in Australia has gluten in it.
Everything, like every sauce.
That's right.
Everything.
So that's what you'd want to be looking for in ingredients is the wheat term.
You know what I just learned the other day? Tea bags are actually sealed with wheat. You know how like if you mix water and flour, it makes a glue? Like when you make a homemade glue. And so tea bags are actually, that's what they use to close tea bags. So you actually have to search out gluten-free or even wheat-free tea. Which I never thought. I learned that in one of my lectures and I was like, what?
See, it's just cheap and easy and they use it for everything. Yeah. It's not just your bread. Yeah. It's in ice cream. It's in
thickeners, flavors.
Everything. So that's part of what you'd want to do. Also, I'd say you want to stick with a 21-day trial. It takes 21 days to really form a habit, get used to a new way of eating, and to see if you're going to feel the benefits. I felt benefits within the first week, really.
Yeah, totally.
So it will come quick. If you're trying to lose weight, it's a very effective way of losing weight. Paleo and Primal. Primal is probably a bit more flexible.
Yep.
I find for long-term maintenance, it's more of a lifestyle.
Yeah, so what are the differences, I guess, between Paleo and Primal? Like I hear them used interchangeably, but are there quite significant differences?
They're both very similar. Both get rid of the grains and legumes. Paleo is definitely no dairy and no alcohol, no caffeine. They're a bit more strict on that.
I don't know if this whole paleo thing's really going to
Yeah.
Love my coffee, love my wine.
Yeah, and the Primal way, which is, again, very similar, same idea of your plate being mostly veggies, beautiful meats, and good quality fats.
Yeah.
But they allow you to have some dairy.
Like good quality organic dairy, grass-fed.
Exactly,
yeah.
So if your body, I think their whole premise, if your body can handle it, it's not affecting your gut, it's not increasing your weight or whatever your goals are, it's not interfering with that, then go ahead and have some.
Okay.
Same with legumes. Primal is, okay, you want some hummus?
Yeah.
Some chickpeas?
I love hummus.
Go for it.
Okay, cool.
As long as it doesn't affect your gut.
Yeah.
So I like that because they are a bit more flexible.
Yeah. And you can have a glass of wine with dinner.
And you can have a little glass of wine with dinner.
Like it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe now I'm more primal.
Yeah. And that's probably my lifestyle, definitely more so, is the primal way. Paleo is still very similar. I love the ideas. And they're both very similar, but Primal is just a bit more flexible.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the flexibility, options. Cool.
That's right.
So what are your top 5 or 6 or however many kind of paleo must-haves in terms of having in your kitchen, your fridge, or your pantry? Things you make?
I think I would always use coconut oil with my cooking.
It fixes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. Don't waste it on the spoon. Yeah. Put it on your hands. So
stretch marks too.
When I was pregnant,
put it all on my belly. I was a big coconut.
So there's that, especially if you're cooking at high heat. You want to use coconut oil rather than olive oil, which is I love my olive oil too. I use quite a bit of coconut aminos, which could be a good soy sauce substitute. So soy sauce, a lot of people don't realize has wheat in it. So that could be a major bloating issue for a lot of folks.
And if it's not in GMO, then it obviously could come from genetically modified soy, which is going to mess with our hormones and our gut lining.
That's right.
Nasty stuff.
So the coconut aminos, I'm not sure if they sell that at normal grocery stores yet.
I haven't seen it there. Usually at a health food store.
Yeah, so that's where you can find it. Tastes amazing, and I put it in everything. What else? I love my apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
So I find just having a little teaspoon of that every morning really good for your gut, immune system, and so many other amazing things.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're not familiar with apple cider vinegar or why you take it in the morning. It's because even though it's acidic, it actually alkalizes your body. Yeah. So it helps to put your body into alkalinity first thing in the morning before you have anything else added into your digestive system. So a really good way of starting your morning. And I noticed you posted, you take it straight.
Yes.
I'm mixing mine with water.
So I just learned, I went to a health retreat recently, and that's what I was doing for years. Yeah. And they warned us, if you're just sipping on it with warm water, which tastes a bit nicer than taking it straight, just saving the enamel on your teeth.
See, I switched to apple cider vinegar from lemon juice because I thought,
and that's kind of the same thing, but I think the lemon juice.
I'm learning.
I know. I was surprised. So just have a little cup of water ready to just
chase it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I'll do that tomorrow morning.
So it's more just to save your teeth.
Cool. And how do you feel about bone broth? People who watch my social media know that I am obsessed with bone broth. What do you think about it?
So also a very paleo way of introducing something very nutritious into your diet. They're huge on it. Same with the Primal way. I actually made my first batch. I'm kind of ashamed that I've already made my first batch. But
at least you're starting, right?
I did, yeah. Because I've been so sick lately with my daughter in daycare and learning all these new bugs that are around. And So I thought, okay, I've got to do something else for myself and for our family. Made my first batch, and it was amazing, delicious. I was so proud of it. We just finished a bit of it this morning. My husband loves me even more, I think. He loves all my kooky little new things. But yeah, full of collagen and gelatin, amazing protein, and just a great way to start your morning as well if you have a nice hot cup of.
If you want to know more about bone broth, I have an episode on my YouTube channel all about bone broth, and I show you how seriously easy it is. So go check that out.
It's super easy.
Anything else?
Let's see. I'm not sure if I went specifically into. I guess once again, just so you guys have a good idea, the paleo. Imagine your plate of food is just a palm size of protein. I had the misconception paleo was you're just eating the
bacon and steaks.
That's all you were eating.
You're going to eat a big hunk of meat, and that's all. Yeah,
and it's not Atkins at all. No. You do have some carbohydrates. So imagine most veggies, a small amount of protein, the size of the palm of your hand, and then adding those good quality fats. Super basic. There shouldn't be any controversy with it, which I know sometimes there is, but it's amazing.
It is a really, I think, great way of living and eating. And it doesn't mean you can't, indulge and have.
That's right.
Say, walk by Paddock here on the Gold Coast, and you see and you smell their delicious cookies. Like, if you want to have a cookie, have a cookie.
That's right.
Just not every day.
and that's what I've learned along this way too. It's not so strict where I think your happiness and your social environment is very important to you. You don't want to be the person who never gets invited to go out to dinner.
Don't invite her. She doesn't eat anything.
She doesn't eat anything.
It's the bacon.
That's right. So you got to have that balance. Yeah. And I think both ways you can. In the Primal Lifestyle, you probably can have even a bit more. Yeah.
Cool. Well, should we make some yummy food?
Yes.
All right, cool. So both of the recipes this morning that we're going to make this afternoon, what time is it? Whenever, can be, I think, great for breakfast and snacks, or even a light lunch. So we're going to make one savory dish and one sweet dish, and they're both quite quick and simple to make, and things you can have stored in the fridge for those busy mornings. Just grab something out, one heat it up, one you eat cold. So perfect. So the first one I'm going to make are some veggie fritters. So we're just going to use a couple eggs. Oh, pastured eggs.
That's right.
What? Tell me about pastured eggs. I know they're really big in Primal and Paleo.
Yeah, they're much more full of omega-3s. These chickens are feeding off the grass and pasture raised, so they're eating the grubs, all the good things that
they're meant to eat.
That are meant to eat.
Corn and soy that they're really not meant to eat.
That's right, and it's the
same.
same.
I'm just gonna go whip these eggs. Yeah, sure.
It's the same.
Do you have one of these?
I don't. I was going to ask you where you got that.
Okay, watch. I think it's like from Domain or no, I don't know, Harvey Norman or something.
Yeah.
So quick. Done.
Wow.
I know. Isn't it?
I'm getting one of those.
I know. And it has like other attachments too, to mash and to puree. I got it first to make baby food. Okay, so into our pasture-raised whipped eggs or beaten eggs, I'm just going to add a grated zucchini and carrot, and I've just wrung the moisture out of those. You can do it using kitchen paper or a tea towel, and just so the fritters don't get too moist and fall apart. Do you want to actually heat up a pan? Maybe.
Sure.
Thank you. I have an assistant. And some spring onion, and then I'm just going to mix that all together. So with this though, like I'm using zucchini and carrot. You really could use any veggies that you either have on hand or that you love. So maybe grated pumpkin or kale, spinach, some capsicum, mushrooms, like seriously anything. And then I'm going to add some curry powder, because I think curry powder is a great blend of different spices and adds some really nice flavor. So about a teaspoon of that. And salt and pepper to everything, because it brings out the flavor of all our spices. You could add some herbs to this too, if you had like parsley lying around, like you just have herbs everywhere, you know what I mean? Like in your fridge or in your garden. And now, rather than using wheat flour for this fritter, I'm going to use almond meal. So you could use almond meal or even coconut flour to bind the fritters together. So probably about a couple tablespoons of the almond meal. And so I'm just going to mix all that together. And so it's just kind of made like a little batter. And then I'm going to fry it in coconut oil over on the stove there. And Mel, do you want to make our second breakfast recipe or snack recipe?
So I was going to make some chia seed pudding, which I use quite often, especially for my daughter as an easy go-to snack. We don't have too much dairy in the house. That's a really good substitute for yogurt, especially if she is sick. I try to avoid dairy.
And you can kind of hide some yummy things in there, can't you?
Yeah, that's right. Chia seeds are great protein, good fiber, very hydrating as well. I like to add it with some coconut milk, so I just use this organic coconut milk, unsweetened, is what I prefer. And let's see. Some straight organic chia seeds. So,
have you ever spilt like a bag of those all over your kitchen?
Oh God, no, I wouldn't want to do that. That's horrible.
Everywhere. It's one of those, I'm just going to cry. I was like, what do we even do?
And they kind of keep this static tension, I find.
They do. They're so hard to clean up.
So roughly about a quarter cup of chia seeds. I'm really bad at measuring anything, but I would say a quarter cup there. And then roughly about a cup of coconut milk, or you can use almond milk, any nut milk you like. So that's about 1 cup there. So it starts to go quite gelatinous after a few minutes. I like to give it a good spin, just so it all cooks up with the milk, the coconut milk. I like to add a bit of good quality cinnamon in my, so
I love cinnamon. So good in the winter too, so nice and warm.
And it's really good for you. So that's, I've got some pure vanilla extract here, just a tiny little bit, just to give it a little bit of flavor. And sometimes I'll literally just leave it like that. My daughter would love it. You can add some cacao powder just to give it more of a chocolatey, chocolatey flavor. I've even seen people do maybe like a teaspoon's worth. You can add more if you want it really chocolatey.
And raw cacao is so great for antioxidants.
Oh, it is. It's definitely not just your normal chocolate powder. So there's not going to be any sugar in that. You can add whatever, you have stevia or so. I know the paleo way, they're okay with stevia.
Could you add maple syrup or honey?
You could, definitely. I like to buy my honey from the farmer's market too.
Local raw honey, so good.
So we can have some cacao nibs, which are beautiful and just gives it a bit of a crunch. Also adds that chocolate flavor without adding the sugar in it. So once you give it a good mix, then you want to add maybe some goji berries.
I was just thinking, I'm like, I am obsessed with goji berries right now. So is Hendrix. Do you give them to Sierra?
No, you know what I haven't.
I've just kind of swapped over from raisins or sultanas to goji berries, and he loves them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So good. I'm going to eat some right now.
Yes.
I'm checking on my fridge.
Perfect. So just giving it a good mix, really. And it takes maybe a good 10 to 20 minutes for it to fully go jelly-like, so it turns more into a pudding, because the seeds just swell up and absorb all that liquid that you've added pretty much.
Cool. Well, my friends are just cooking over here. I don't want to keep you here all day, though, so I'll just show you. They're just cooking away.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave them over here. So to turn that into, oh, sorry, are you done?
Yeah, all done.
I'm just like jumping in.
No, go for it.
Oh, I'm going to eat some of this. It's so thick already.
Yeah, it goes pretty quickly, which is amazing.
So for the fritters, for breakfast, I would add on the side of that maybe some sauteed spinach or some sauerkraut, homemade sauerkraut. Do you eat sauerkraut?
I do, probably not as much as I should.
So good. A little bit of fermented veggies every day. So good for your gut health. Again, probiotics, prebiotics. And
very encouraged in the paleo diet.
I know. Pete Evans, all about his fermented vegetables. I've got some fermenting at home right now. Hopefully they'll be done soon. So I'd add those to the side of my fritters. Maybe a little salad for lunch, some sort of greens, maybe some feta if you're more primal than paleo, to add some cheesy flavor.
Add some avocado on top.
Yes, avocado, healthy fats.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
I know. That
I
just
should go
sounds
eat
good.
lunch.
Sounds good.
So thank you so much for joining me today
Thank
and
you.
helping everyone learn about Paleo and Primal Lifestyle.
Oh,
So I hope you guys have learned some things. If you have any questions, actually, I just see someone. Sorry, it's Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Jackie's just talking about the keto diet. It's very similar, isn't it? Similar.
Yeah.
Her husband's doing keto.
So if you're in ketosis, you're having about 0 to 50 grams of carbs, which is quite restricted. It's good to kickstart weight loss, but it's hard to maintain it long term.
Yeah.
But some people do, and they're fine with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you have any questions about any of the things we've spoken about today, just pop them in the comments below and I will try to respond to them. And this will obviously be posted up on my YouTube channel as well later tonight, when I get around to it. And check out Nutrition Mission Mummy on Instagram for lots of yummy recipes and tips and nutrition tips and anything else. And follow Melissa Kearney on Facebook for all her primal tips as well.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having me.
See ya. Have a good day.